Hey guys, Zane Hyde here from the Nexus Schoolhouse, bringing you a snippet of a coaching session I had with a diamond ranked tank player from a couple of weeks ago. This is in a friendly scrim between two Division A NGS teams, and this tank player wants to know what they can do better overall in tanking. So what I go over with them are the bare basics of vision and how to control rotations. And this is advice you can take to your quick match games, your SL games, or your competitive games. And as long as you understand this and the enemy tank doesn't, you're going to be able to make rotational advantages, create picks, and find kills. I hope you guys enjoy. And right here, you're just looking to control the bottom right rotation. Okay, put down the W for zoning. Turn on the Q. So let's talk about dismounts. What is the value of a dismount from a mid rotation going into bot?
It gives our team more time to clear the wave, and it sets the enemy team behind in terms of rotations.
Perfect. Okay. So one thing I'll point out is when you're looking for dismounts on Mei, specifically into Diablo, firstly, you have the advantage of he can't wallbang you here and here. In these two spaces, especially when you tuck into here, you can wait till you see the Diablo to throw down the W, and you can place it like right here. And that way you guarantee that you're hitting people with the W. If the Diablo elects to go on you, he's going to Q you here, E you here, and you're just going to be able to icing right on out.
Oh, can he not wallbang you on the non-alter thing? Or can he?
He can wallbang you on this, and he can wallbang you on this, but if you stand right here and he just walks past, it's very difficult for him to get that angle.
Gotcha.
Because the range on your W is actually quite large. If the replay system will allow me to demonstrate, it won't because it hates me. The W range is like about till here is where you can cast the center of the W, right? So what's the easiest way to dismount an enemy hero, especially on Mei?
Q.
No, auto attack. Even easier than that, right? Is because you've got a ranged auto attack on Mei, right? You don't need to be in melee range in order to dismount people, right? So unlike a Murden, you're actually at like pretty much zero risk. You see the Diablo coming past you, then you can throw out, and obviously if your team can clear the wave, then you don't have to save your W for that, right? You can just look to put a W down once you see the Diablo and then try to cock block him there. And again, if he charges you, you have your D, you have your E, you're like perfectly fucking safe. But the main thing to keep in mind is your job as a tank is to get vision, right? Primarily, like that's the biggest, most important thing you'll do pretty much all game is you need to have vision and knowledge of where the enemy team is. And if you don't have knowledge of where the enemy team is, you're fucking up. Does that make sense?
Right. Yeah.
Playing around vision is a really big step forward into like the next level of competitive that a lot of tank players will never take. Because a lot of tank players will never either have the instruction or come to the conclusion that vision is so fucking important. Vision is something that everybody in our team has to play around, and you need to teach your teammates that. But in order to do that, you have to learn it yourself first. So what we're going to do, and we're going to do this twice. We're going to go through the early game from your perspective, and then I'm going to go through it from the NB perspective. I'm going to show you what they see. Does that make sense?
Okay. Yeah, let's go for it.
Okay, so far this is your camera movement. And I like seeing your camera movement because I want to know what you're thinking and where you're looking. Because good camera movement is what enables you to, for example, right here, you're already predicting that they're going to be rotating up. So you're adjusting yourself upwards and you're paying attention to this area, right? So ideally you want to move your camera right up to here so you can frame everything that you're going to be able to see, right? Your camera movement is a really important part of where you're anticipating where the enemy is going to be. And it's also an important part of seeing things through the fog of war. Right now you have no information, right? What do you know right now?
Yeah, I know that they just maybe rotated up.
Yes, exactly, right?
Either gone mid or camp.
So they could be here, they could be here, they could be here. Well, they can't be here because you would have fucking seen it. There could literally be a Diablo right here, right around the corner, just waiting for you to step up so he can flip you, combo you, and get a Stuko silence underneath, right? You have no idea. And the reason you have no idea, partially, is because you're up against this building. This building is cucking your vision. Right? If you go stand over here, you're going to have... Do you see how on the left side you have this lovely big arc of vision?
Oh, yeah.
Do you see that shadow on the ground?
I can see it's like a leftward facing cone.
You can't see anything beyond this point because you're too close to the terrain on your right side. So you need to go stand over here so that you can see this. This fucking terrifying thing that is right in front of your face, but you can't see it. Because of this piece of terrain right here. So you need to go stand at the left side so you can see the right. Does that make sense?
Yes, gotcha.
Okay, so right here, obviously, you see the Diablo quite late right there. I just pointed at my monitor as if you could fucking see that. Jesus Christ. So yeah, so let's go to full vision, right? We can see that the Leoric's in the mid. The Gul'dan, we just got vision of him because he cast an E, which he really shouldn't have fucking done because he doesn't have the E quest. But the Gul'dan you have vision of, right? We just got vision of the Stukov by that Q, the blind Q that you threw. And I'll point out that cost you mana. You could have just auto attacked the Diablo as well to dismount him, right? And while you see him right here, where can he wallbang you?
He can't.
Exactly. Right. It's very binary. It's very easy to figure out where you want to stand to not get fucked by a Diablo. You just have to think about it a little bit, and it's kind of taxing because you have to constantly think about it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense.
So the main things we want to be good at gathering information on where the enemy team is. And we want to be confident in our movements as a tank so that we know we're not inting. That sound good? Right. So we want to know our limitations, basically, right? And Mei is a fantastic tank to learn this shit on because she has panic buttons. Panic buttons help you when you fuck up. And you will fuck up because that's the nature of getting better at this. You have to make a lot of mistakes in order to make some improvement, right?
Yeah, and like I definitely feel that like when, because I've been taught a little bit about vision and stuff like that, but I know like when I play these games, it's, you know, I don't know the limitations. I don't know exactly what I'm looking for.
The main thing that you're looking for, right, and this is the most important thing, is the tank is the scout. What provides you vision in this game? And it's not a trick question.
Oh, your bodies. Like
your body provides vision, and then other things that can give you vision are minion waves. So the reason why it's valuable to push minion waves is minion waves give you vision, and vision is knowledge, right? Knowledge is power and all that jazz, right? You constantly hear this trope in like combat focused entertainment of any kind that information is power. I'm going to make this a very literal concept for you because you are going to start understanding that information is all the power all the time. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Okay, so right here, what I want you to do is just look to dismount the enemy tank, especially as Mei, because you have a ranged auto attack. It's very fucking easy to do. Does that make sense?
Got you. Yeah.
Okay, so right now, what are we doing? Do we have vision of the Diablo?
No, we lost.
We just dropped vision, right? So right now, you're not consciously thinking about vision, but the next time you play Towers of Doom, you're going to go, oh yeah, so where I need to be is I need to stay in this bush and keep watching that Diablo, because if he goes this way, and my team comes up this way, we can kill him. Because his entire team, I just saw the Stukov wander off to the right, and I just saw the Gul'dan having a wank in the lane over here. So I have a good general idea of where the enemy team is. And a lot of this shit is going to be like, you're not going to know that this is Stukov. You're going to see a flash of a character for like a quarter second, and you're going to be like, somebody is over there. I'm not quite sure who. And because of the skins, it makes it difficult as well to figure out like right away. But you're going to know which one the fucking tank is because he looks like this.
Yeah, true.
And the tank's body language is going to be very different, right? So look what's happening here. You guys are all marching together in one big clump. If he had APOC, he'd hit a 4-man APOC right here, right? Because he has full vision. Look at what Xe is doing. He's getting the W, and he's getting vision on all of you guys. So now the entire enemy team knows where all of you are. Does that make sense?
Right.
So that's what Xe is looking for right here, and he's doing that quite well. So you go over to this camp, and this is very correct. You are standing in the bush so you can see the enemy approach. This is perfect. This is exactly what you want to do. Every single time you take this camp, the tank needs to be in this bush or needs to be in this bush. You need to have full vision of the incoming enemy heroes. And again, that thing that I mentioned before, remember how this cut off your vision? It's the same thing here. This is cutting off your vertical vision.
Is it for like camps like this? Is it more important to stay hidden in the bush, or is it maybe like should I step out like one unit so I'm outside of the bush but I have more vision?
You want to go in and out of the bush if you need to get the vision. Does that make sense? Like that's the best of both worlds, is going in and out of the bush. But ideally, the enemy team doesn't know if you're in the bush or not. And the reason why this is valuable is every single second counts when you're trying to prevent the enemy team from invading, right? Every little moment of hesitation, every little auto attack that gets missed by your team, right? All of this shit adds up, and it results in the enemy team having enough time to get here and invade you. When you're sitting in the bush like this, you get to put the W down right here and tell the enemy team, you're not getting past me. I am a tank, right? Like right here, what are we going to do? We're going to put down the W. Perfect. We get the cap. Perfect. We get the stun onto the enemy tank, and then we just E right out. Perfect. We got everything we wanted. We got our camp. The enemy camp is also pushing, and it's going to arrive here before our camp arrives over here. So we're in a good position, right? So you did everything you needed to do, and that was more, I think that was probably a habit you've developed just playing Towers of Doom. I think you know to stand in this bush, but you didn't know why. Does that make sense?
Yeah, like for my team is kind of grilled into me like, hey, anchor the bushes while we're doing camps.
Yes.
That's happened a few times.
Yes, exactly. And your team understands the basic concept of you need to be able to see the enemy incoming, but they don't understand vision the way you're going to understand vision. You're going to have to teach it to them, at least partially, because tanks see vision very different from other units. So I want to clarify that point I made towards the tail end. Vision isn't something reserved for tanks, right? It's something that anybody, everybody, and every position can play around, right? A Li Ming can check a bush with a Q more easily than a Mei can check a bush with a Q, because the Li Ming's cooldown is significantly shorter. In that same way, multiple ranged assassins have tools that allow them to check bushes, like Hanzo's Sonic Arrow or Junkrat's Q, right? And the same thing goes for supports. Malfurion's W is a fantastic bush check. Brightwing's Q is a fantastic bush check, right? These tools are universal. They can be applied anywhere and in any situation, and you can use them from any position. Hope you guys found this video useful. If you'd like to receive coaching sessions of your own, they are currently $15 for one per month at our Patreon. Links in the description. Otherwise, stay safe, and we will see you in the Nexus.